Number 2, Gwen from Anchorage, Alaska. You are my favorite anchor from Saturday Night Live. I always wondered why you left the show. Why did you? Let's see, I was 6 years in, and I began to feel like, let's see, I remember I had done a holding deal with NBC as a possible, Brandon Tartikoff was lining people up left and right. He had to replace Carson at some point. So he was giving you some money to not take another deal for a while, and I'm sure there was like 20 of us. But I remember when that expired and I saw that it was going to be, you know, Jay or David, and that's who they winnowed it down to. For a while there, Shanley was in the mix. I remember thinking, well, I don't want to wait a year too late here where I don't have any heat and won't get my own show. And I had no idea that my own show would work or not work. Obviously, you're a kid and you're feeling your oats. You're all full of piss and vinegar. I thought it would work. But I also thought, well, there's a downside. I've got to figure out exactly when to leave this show. So 6 years in, I began to feel like I was getting a little old for the show. And I listen, the show's great. It was the best break I had. But I just remember thinking, if they get tired of you here, you're kind of stuck here. You kind of have to have the proper time to jump out of the plane and not get caught up in the props. So there was an offer on the table for a syndicated talk show with the Chicago Tribune. Pretty good money in writing. And moved me back to California. I'm not a huge California fan, but I was ill-suited to living in New York City. The concrete just began to depress me. Great town to visit. It's not my cup of tea. I like grass. So I took it, and indeed I got whacked in 6 months. But I had a good parachute with the money. My ego was hurt, and I did feel a little panicked that I had left SNL. But propitiously for me, I got whacked on a Friday. And on Saturday morning, I'll never forget, I was living in Studio City, and I pick up my phone, and it's Michael Fuchs, the head of HBO, who is a good friend, and he was a really great guy to work for. I had done specials for him. And he said, I think you got disabused over there, kid. I like the show. They didn't give it enough time. Lick your wounds, get your head together, come over here, and we'll put you on the air with whatever you want to do. Now, granted, they gave me a pickup for 6. I mean, he's open-hearted, but he didn't give me a lifetime guarantee. But we did 2, and they said, you've got to submit one of the shows for the Emmy consideration. And I said, well, the first one really chewed. Let's go with the second one. The second one won an Emmy. We were on for a month, and we won an Emmy. And then I got picked up, and it ended up being 215. So you never know where showbiz is going to take you, but I bailed on SNL because I didn't want to be the old guy who's coming back to the college frat party and hanging out around the keg trying to get laid with undergrad. You know, back when I went here. So it was time to go. Number 3. Enjoy these samples of the Bathrobe Sessions, a weekly video available only to members of the DMZ, the Dennis Miller Zone, on DennisMillerRadio.com.